Hey guys, Philip Shadley here, your local real estate agent in Los Angeles, and today this is like the end of the year report that I'm doing for real estate. We're going to look at some stats and data in a minute, but I want to point out some benefits, some advantages for buyers. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so here's the thing. At the moment, we are at about 6.5 to 6.75% interest rate currently. We're not quite at 7%. That's what the news are saying, but don't listen to the news because the news will tell you the real estate world is collapsing and is over, which is not the case. Now, another thing that's interesting is, and I talked about the buyer's benefits in the last video, but I want to repeat it really quickly. No bidding wars, more negotiation power, and more selection than it used to be. And what this also does, what this interest rate allows us, is a higher negotiation. And especially now, I want to point out there's about 25 to 30% of all deals are cash deals right now. So cash buyers right now have a huge advantage because you can negotiate a good price because of the high interest rate, because that's the environment that we're in right now. And here's the thing, if you're able to get your hands on cash, and not everybody is able to do that, but let's say you have a family member or a business partner or an uncle, or who knows, maybe you're like these people in California who started digging in the yard and found a $10 million treasure. I actually know a person in Germany where this happened to many years ago, and they almost got close to €1 million. Anyway, I know this is 1 in a million, and what I'm trying to convey here is that become creative. And if you have access to cash somehow, then you're in a huge benefit, and the next few months I think are going to be really big benefits for you. So what you could do is, for example, let's say you have a relative, and that relative agrees to give you the cash as a loan. Let's say whatever, 3-4%. It's a relative, so they give you a good interest rate. So you get the cash. 6 months later, and in order to protect them, you can put them on title, so it's a joint ownership, so they don't have less risk, also have an investment. And 6 months later, you can refinance and take them off title and pay them back and get the loan. Because here's the thing, there's a very great likelihood that the interest rates will drop by next year. So Fannie Mae, for example, announced that in 2023, the rates will drop to 4.5%. Well, guess what's going to happen if that happens? If this happens, this will happen as well. Prices will increase because the buyers that have been eliminated up here with the high interest rate, they will flood the market the moment it drops to 4.5, and you'll have a lot more competition and the prices will go up. So, as Sir Templeton says, he was a very successful businessman. He says, buy when pessimism is high. And right now, pessimism is very high. So everybody tells you, don't buy, it's the worst time to buy. Not really true. Listen to Dave Ramsey. He says, buy soon. Dave Ramsey, the real estate chief online, go Google it. Dave Ramsey says, buy now, because prices will not come down. And I have to agree with him because we still have low inventory. We're going to look at some data and stats in a minute. But the key here is, that cash buyers have a big benefit. We just went into escrow yesterday with a cash deal, and because of the high interest rate and the environment we're in right now, we were able to negotiate $20,000 down, which is huge, right? So this is the cash deal buyer. Now, there are no foreclosures, and I covered it last time. Very few foreclosures because people have a cheap mortgage and a high equity. Now, here's the thing. People will say price reductions. There are price reductions across the country. And again, real estate is regional, so you have to remember at certain areas it's more or less. But here's the thing. A lot of price reductions you see right now. First of all, the price reductions in LA, I would say, are between 1 and 5%, no more than that. But a lot of price reductions you see right now are designed to blend into the environment. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you look at new listings right now, and I've seen this quite often lately, let's say there is a listing that's listed at $100 million, a house. And within 18 hours, they lowered the price $100,000 down to $900,000. So now you would think in 18 hours, what? The seller just kind of all of a sudden said, oh my gosh, we got to do something. We had no calls. No, this is something you might do after 18 days. So what I'm saying is when you look at 10 listings, new listings, almost all of them price reduction, because that's what people are knowing right now. That's what people are aware of. There's price reductions going on. So if you list a listing at a regular price and have no price reductions, That means you would be the odd one out. You would be overpriced. You would seem overpriced. Let's say you have 10 listings on your screens and 9 of them have price reductions and one this doesn't. Well, people are going to look at that. Buyers are going to look at that and say, look at this guy. He's trying to get full price in an environment where everybody reduces prices. So if you're a listing agent and if you have a seller, if you're smart working together, list a house at $1.1 million if I want to sell it at $1 million. And then maybe a few days, not 18 hours, but a few days later or a week or two later, I would say price just dropped $100,000 to $1 million. So now when people look at this, you know, like a couple might look at this and say, oh, honey, look at this house, this beautiful house. And they just had a price reduction of $100,000. Look, that's a great deal. So this is what I call blending into the environment. So the price reductions are happening, but some of them are by design. I hope this makes sense. Top secret information. Anyway, if you have the chance to get your hands on cash, this is huge right now because in the next 3 to 4 months, I would say if you're serious about buying, this will be the time to plan it. And also, again, if you get your hands on cash, this scenario would make a lot of sense. And you can refinance 6 months later. But as Dave Ramsey said, prices are not coming down because inventory is still low. And right now, inventory is subsiding again. Towards the end of the year, it's kind of normal. But let's look at some numbers and some stats right now. Okay, guys, so let's look at some data here. This is provided by Altos Research. Current inventory is slightly subsiding. It is currently at 524,000. So that's single-family homes. That's not condominiums and townhomes. That's single-family homes. However, that is gradually going down. And this is kind of normal for the end of the year, although it is a good time. Right now would be a good time to list your home if you're selling your home because you have less competition. And the buyers during the holidays are usually more serious buyers. And they're also emotional buyers, so they might be willing to spend a little bit more. So for sellers who have been having a tough time selling their home, this might be a good time. It's definitely something to consider because after the new year in the springtime, everybody will come out and you have much more competition. But anyway, so this is fairly low inventory. You know, we figured by the end of the year might be around 500,000, another month, somewhere around there. New listings that came in, when you look at it, is only 47,474. So these are not really a lot of new listings coming in, you know, just in this week. There's usually more than that. So it's definitely, as you can see, the trend right here. The dark red line is the current line this year. And it's definitely declining. It's similar to the previous year. If you look at it, kind of similar. It's probably going to dive down and take a very similar approach to the lighter color here from last year. That's what I would expect, but we don't know for sure 100%. Now the single family homes under contract right now is only 314,000. So this is also kind of low. And again, it's expected to kind of go down a little bit towards the end of the year. About similar to the month before, so November and October a little, but you can see a steady decline going towards the year here. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is inventory slowing down, as we just saw. And even though we have 50% more homes on the market than we did the same time last year, but you have to remember also that the existing homes are taking longer to sell. So 60, 90 days, some even more. So it kind of fills the inventory higher, but it's really not that much of a gain in inventory. It's just more stale properties on there, plus adding some new ones to it. So there is more inventory than last year though. Now 25%, as I mentioned earlier, 25% of all deals are cash deals. If you are in the fortunate position to get cash in your hands, ask a relative, whatever, that would be huge because you could get the best price in the negotiation and have not to worry about interest. And you can make a deal maybe with a relative or a friend or a business partner. We have record new number of new home constructions. So the obviously the housing shortage caused a lot of builders to build quickly, and right now we have a record new number of new homes coming on the market. So by next year, this should replenish the inventory fairly well. Again, pending property is currently very low at 314,000. There's no foreclosures, as I mentioned earlier on the board here, because the low mortgage rate that people have and high equity. And I went through the buyer's advantages earlier in the video. If we really see the interest rates going down next year, then that would definitely be a situation where prices will go back up. So the time to buy, to think about buying, is really now. That's very, very important. And even here,
Yahoo News is also evaluating if it's the right time to buy. But if you look at Dave Ramsey, for example, and you can Google that, he states why right now is the best time to buy a house. Do not wait. Don't wait. Because sometimes people wait for the interest rate to drop or for the prices to drop. And if neither happens, which is at the moment the case, then you could be waiting for a long time. And also, if you do wait until the interest rates go down next year, then the prices will go back up. So it's kind of like a catch-22. That's why it's really important right now for buyers who are really serious. Like, for example, I have just one. We just got an offer accepted like a few minutes ago. We have a cash buyer. They don't have to worry about it. And we literally submitted the offer day before yesterday. And there was another offer on the table. It was a conventional loan. And boom, we got the offer accepted just like 5 minutes ago, which is very exciting. And so right now is a good time to buy. And I would definitely consider, if you're serious about buying, you really got to get a game plan together and really have a good realtor on your side and a good lender on your side. And again, if you get hands on cash, that would be the best way to go. So another thing is, it's very important, watch the market data. Do not watch the news. The news will tell you that the world of real estate is falling apart. You see stuff like 50%, 60% price reductions, which is ridiculous. That would be a market crash. The price reduction we have in LA, and I mentioned in the last video, is about maybe 1 to 5%. So they're not huge, but it is a good time to negotiate the price further down, because of the high interest rates and the lack of buyers coming to the market or having withdrawn from the market. Anyway, if you have any questions about real estate, please don't hesitate to call me at 310-918-2260. And thank you so much for watching. And if you could like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, as this would help me greatly. And I thank you so much, and happy holidays. Also, really quick, what I wanted to mention is on December 12th, we have our first video podcast with my friend David Marriott from the Marriott Consulting Group, where we will answer questions about real estate. You can just listen in, or you can also ask questions. We're going to be on YouTube and Instagram Live and Facebook Live. And this is December 12th at 12 noon, 12. See you there.